What's up, guys? This is Sammy Geek back here, and today I have the Samsung Fold and the Note 10 Plus. It's going to be a head-to-head comparison, as I promised, and I'm going to rate in it 15 different categories. So I'm really going to nitpick each one of these phones, and so at the end of the day, one will be the winner for me. But what I want to tell you guys is it kind of depends on how you use these phones. So both of these, I love both these phones. I really want to carry both these phones, but I have to make a choice and just carry one at the end of the day. So one is going to win out of these 15 different categories. But just so you understand how I use my phone, is I travel for work a lot. So I cover a big territory and I'm traveling around. I'm on a lot of different airplanes. So I'm using two phones, actually, one for business and one for my personal use. So personal phone calls, things like looking at Amazon, watching YouTube videos, things like that, editing stuff when I'm on the road. So that's what's important to me, is to be able to use these phones quickly and have a great screen and good tools to be able to edit videos and look through and do Amazon shopping or whatever else I'm going to do online, right? So that's important with my personal phone. My work phone, I simply use for emails and phone calls for business. So if your use relates to mine, kind of how I'm using my phone, perhaps then the winner at the end of the day might be the same winner for you. If your use is slightly different, you'll probably have to make up your own determination. But in order to make this kind of a fair battle, because they're so close, I had to create so many different categories. So I created, like I said, 15 categories and actually rate each category 1 through 10. So I'm going to create 2 videos for this review. This will be sort of video number 1, and then I'm going to make another video down the road. So within the next couple of days, that'll talk about the rest of the criteria, and we'll give the final winner, which one is going to get my SIM card at the end of the day. So here are the categories, and I'm going to read them off of a list I have. So phone calls, text messaging, web surfing, kind of like Amazon shopping, YouTube video watching, YouTube/video watching, multitasking, cameras, cool factor, phone specific features, fit and finished of the units, durability, operation, value, comfort, innovation, and speed. I know it sounds like a lot of categories, but again, these are very close phones. So kind of kicking it off with phone calls, the Samsung Fold versus Note 10 Plus. If you have a Samsung phone now, you know that these are really great for phone calls, Samsung phones generally speaking. So both these phones are going to rate high in my scale. For the Fold, I'm going to give this a 9 in my ranking. For the Note 10 Plus, I'm going to give this a 10. So the Note 10, in my opinion, squeaks out a little bit higher than the Fold, and here's why. So this is through my normal use over the past couple of days. I've noticed that the width is great for holding up and talking on. What I don't like as much, and I notice it over the Note 10 Plus, is the weight. So I definitely can feel the weight. So if I'm making a phone call for a while, I eventually feel the weight in my hand. Versus the Note 10 Plus, which is surprisingly light. And so just to hold it here and hold it with my shoulder, I felt like it just sort of edged out very slightly over the Fold. Next, texting. Texting was an important one because both these phones have their advantages for texting. So I'll talk about the Fold first. Imagine you're walking through the store, you're doing some shopping or grocery shopping, and you get a text message from a friend. This one's easy to be able to take out and do a quick little response from the front screen. You can text 2 fingers from the front screen. You can text obviously one-handed from the front screen. But what I noticed is that I found myself still opening up the phone to respond to text messages. So I would stop and I would look and I would do it two-handed, because you're not going to respond to a text with one hand. So for some reason, I found myself not wanting to use the front screen as much as I thought. Again, leads me to open it up each time I want to send a text, versus the Note 10 Plus, which I can take out of my pocket and I'm able to quickly send a text message. I can do it one-handed. Not everybody can, but this is actually a one-handed operation for me, or I can do it two-handed. But the quickness of it, pulling out the phone and being able to quickly respond, I felt that this is going to edge out. So for text messaging, I'm going to give the Note 10 Plus a 9, and I give this a 7. So again, that's my personal preference. I do feel that the Note 10 Plus is just easier on a day-to-day, and I send a lot of text messages, and I did from both these phones. Next category is web surfing. Web surfing is now, I think you guys know where I'm going to go with this one, but this is definitely the highlight of this phone. So this is where it becomes a game changer, because you actually have this small tablet, and it's even better when you turn it sideways, because the aspect ratio of this is similar to like your tablet or your PC. So you're able to quickly browse and you get this full screen experience versus the Note 10 Plus or any other type of candy bar shaped phone like this, where it is going to be long and narrow. So we've all got used to seeing this, but once you're able to use the Samsung Fold, it's an amazing experience to be able to have this like little tablet in your hand. So web surfing, I think you guys probably nailed it already. This thing gets a 10, hands down 10, a very easy, clear winner for web surfing. And I thought long about this one, and the Note 10 Plus, I'm gonna give a score of 7. You could debate that, you could say 8, you could say 6, but I kind of felt like 7 is about right. It's definitely scoring higher because it has a larger screen versus maybe a Note 10, for example, or some of the smaller phones on the market. So I definitely score it high. Now, different than looking at the internet is YouTube videos and watching movies and things like that on your phone. So this is another interesting one, because what happens here when you look at the Fold is you get these big thick bars at the bottom, versus what now movies and things like this are more of like this long narrow aspect ratio, where what you can do with this phone, if you're looking at YouTube, is you can actually expand it out and actually fill the entire screen so you don't have any black bars. But when I do that and I expand it here and look at it on the Fold, I still notice the picture is larger here, and the black bars don't really bother me. So I gave this a score of a 9, so the Fold wins this battle at a 9, and the Note 10 Plus comes in at just underneath that. I'm scoring this an 8. So very close battle for that one. It's almost like a personal preference thing. It depends on how you hold your phone and where you travel. If you do a lot of buses and things like this, maybe you're going to be watching more videos, and that's more important to you, and so forth. So a little bit of personal preference in that. Next category is multitasking. This is another one where the Samsung Fold, I think you guys already realized this, so I'll cut to the chase. This thing will destroy any phone on the market today for multitasking. It's not even a competition versus any phone. So the Note 10 Plus, to some aspect, you would say Samsung might hold their own because they have multitasking, right? So you can actually pull a second screen, but by the time you pull a second screen in here, unless you kind of crop it half and half, it's very difficult. So in fact, I never use it. This thing, I've tried it multiple times on the Fold, and it's incredible. It's awesome. I mean, if you want to look at a video and be texting your friends or something, you definitely can. So multitasking, again, this is going to come in at a 10. I'm going to give this a 6 for multitasking. The next up, cameras. The cameras, this is a tough challenge because both of these cameras are awesome, and they're basically marketplace leaders as far as the technology goes. This, obviously, you guys know the Samsung Fold has the same technology as the Note 10 Plus, with one caveat, and that is the time of flight sensor. So the Note 10 Plus has been updated with the 3D sensor, essentially giving you access to do more things with the phone. The time of flight sensor is not on the Fold, but because all the rest of the cameras are, I rated both these extremely high. I rated this a 9. Samsung Fold pulls in at a 9. I'm rating this a 10, absolutely 10. And I think it's an easy 10 because right now I think this is the top phone. Maybe some other companies are closing in, but I think this is the best phone on the market personally for taking pictures. So cool factor, that's my next. I've got 2 more categories for this video. Cool factor. Again, you guys are probably going to figure this one out pretty quick, but the cool factor for this one comes in at an easy 10. This thing being foldable is game changing. I took this out on the first day and I was showing a lot of friends and family, and they were completely wowed. Especially the biggest wow factor is when you look at a picture on the small screen and then you blow it up and show them on the large screen. It was wowing everybody that I showed. The Note 10 Plus, obviously it looks like every other phone, so unless you realize it has a Note or you're into the really thin bezels, you know, it might be a little bit of a wow factor there. But I'm gonna give this a 10, an absolute easy 10, and I'm gonna give this a 6. So you could challenge that. I mean, it could be a 7 or an 8, but there's not a ton of cool factor with a Note 10 Plus, just from what everybody else has seen. So if you compare it to some phones on the market, yes, it's cool, but again, not really groundbreaking technology and groundbreaking look like this thing. So the last feature, or the last category for today is phone-specific features. And then I do want to remind you, so I'm going to put out a second video, which is going to cover fit and finish, durability, operation, value, comfort, innovation, and speed. I'll go through each one of those categories on another video. So if you haven't yet, please do like and subscribe. And you guys will see my next video that goes through the rest of these, the rest of the categories for these phones. And then I will come up with one winner, which I'm going to put my SIM card in, and that'll be my new daily driver. So wanted to cover again the last category for this video is phone specific features. Now this is an interesting category because these two phones are fierce competitors for having phone specific features. There's really nothing else on the market that can touch either one of these phones. So if you look at the Fold, obviously we know the foldable technology is the outstanding feature for this phone. Totally groundbreaking, totally cool. It is just an awesome feature. But when you compare it to the Note 10 Plus, you have the S Pen, or even the Note 10, as a matter of fact. The S Pen is a cool tool that you can use every day. You can write notes for yourself, and it's totally groundbreaking versus anything else on the market today. So phone specific feature to have the S Pen, there's so many people I know that would not give up this phone, period. They wouldn't give up the Note because they wouldn't go to anything without an S Pen. So phone specific features, they both come in at a 10. The Note 10 Plus because of its S Pen, the Fold because of its groundbreaking foldable display. So that's where we're at so far. It is a neck and neck challenge between these phones through the first categories. And again, I'm gonna go through on a second video for the rest of the categories for you guys, and I will discuss, we'll come up with a winner between the two. But in case you have any questions, please do let me know, comment below, and let me know, and I will add those questions into my next video. So hopefully this helps so far, and stay tuned for video number 2. Peace out, guys.